straight white Christian.
No, Jesse, this is the subscribe thing.
Oh, yeah. I need you all to subscribe, support us on Patreon, like us on Facebook, and follow me on Twitter.
Got it.
I have with me Jose Artistimuño. He is a political strategist and CEO of Now Strategies. He's former deputy national press secretary for the Democratic National Committee. Jose, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jesse. Good to be with you.
Yeah, I totally appreciate it. I want to talk to you about the illegal alien situation. Are you in support of illegal aliens coming into our country?
Look, I'm an advocate for immigrants as a whole. We have an issue in the country where, as you know, we have a little bit over 11 million undocumented immigrants in the United States of America, and we had to do something about it. And there are two clear choices and two clear paths.
I know, but first I'd like to just know, are you in support of illegal aliens just coming into our country? Give me a yes or no on that.
I am not in support of, and I call them undocumented immigrants because I think they're undocumented, illegal. No human being is illegal. But to your question, I think undocumented immigrants, I'm not in support of them crossing the border illegally, as you referred to it. But we got to deal with the problem with the 11 million that we already have in the country. We got to do something about that.
I believe at this point it's more than 11 million. Back in 1990, they were saying that it's 11 million. Barack Obama allowed more than that to come in. Is it right? Is it right for illegals to come here and then stay here and demand what we, the American people, should do for them?
Well, look, this is what I can tell you, Jesse. A majority of Americans in the country, all Americans, citizens, naturalized citizens, natural citizens rather, support comprehensive immigration reform.
Not true.
It is true.
No, it's not
poll
true.
After poll, a majority of Americans, yes, it is, Jesse. Poll after poll.
If it was true, the Great White Hope would not be president. They voted for the president because no one else would do anything about it. This president said that he would.
Though, sure. Look, we had to remember that a majority of Americans voted for Hillary Clinton. The popular vote went for Hillary Clinton. So a majority of Americans are against President Trump, which is why his support is low. It's pretty low. So look. I can tell you from an immigration perspective, I can tell you that we have to do something with the 14 million or what have you. We have to do something about them. Choice number one, we deport them. We deport the 14 million or what have you. We deport them. We get them all out of the country.
That's the only choice that we have.
So now this is my question for conservatives and for Republicans. If we deport 14 million or whatever the number is, we deport all of them. The amount of resources that we're going to be expending, the amount of families that we're going to be separating is just unbelievable. I agree with Republicans. We have to secure the border. I don't think the wall is the smartest way to do it. By the way, a big portion of the undocumented population in this country didn't cross the border. They overstayed their visas. A lot of them are coming from underground. Right. They're coming over the border on planes or what have you. So a physical wall is it's a lot more than protection. It's giving America the wrong message.
I do want to say the only reason Hillary got more votes because they had truckloads of illegal aliens voting for her.
That's not true. No, that's not true.
No, it's been proven to be true. Let me ask, it's not our fault that quote unquote families would be separated or divided. The illegals should have thought of that before coming here illegally. And so when they go back to Mexico, they are going home. And they can work that out however they want. Those that will stay behind, they have a choice of going back with their family or staying. But just because the family will be divided is not a reason for us not to deport. You know, they decided to come here illegally, they have to suffer the consequences.
Look, and I understand where the point is coming from, but I am optimistic that we are better as a people. Look, the symbol of the United States, Jesse, has always been the Statue of Liberty, not a barbed wire fence. I think we can do better, and we're better as a country. I think we can secure the border. We cannot allow for undocumented immigrants to continue to cross the border without any sort of any sort of system. I understand that. But for the people that are already here, I think there's a better option than just getting rid of them. This is what I propose. Let's get all these millions of undocumented folks, let's get them to the back of the line. They should not jump the line. We need to get them to the back of the line. We need to ensure that they learn English. They need to pay back taxes if they have not been paying taxes. And that's very important. We need to make sure that this population is paying their fair share. And you know what? If they don't have any criminal record, because we don't want serious criminals in this country, they are a very small population of the undocumented community, very small. They're rapists, traffickers, what have you, but it's a very small population. I can tell you that the greatest amount of undocumented immigrants in this country create thousands and thousands of jobs. The founders of Google, I mean, even dating back to hundreds of years, it is known that undocumented immigrants contribute to our country in many great ways.
Well, Jose, by coming here illegally, they all are criminals. And because of that, they need to be deported. Let me ask, illegal aliens are coming here and they are affecting Black Americans first and foremost, in that they are taking the jobs. There are many single Black women who have to use the county facilities for healthcare reasons. The public schools are overcrowded, and it is affecting the Blacks first and foremost, because a lot of these folks end up in the urban areas. Does it bother you at all that Blacks are being affected first and foremost by illegal aliens?
I just think that premise is false, Jesse. I don't think that's totally
No,
true.
it's true. It's true. I work and live in the area. It is true. Does it bother you that Blacks are being affected first and foremost?
Well, there are ways so that no one is affected. You have to remember that there's a big portion of jobs in places like California, for example, that undocumented
But
immigrants
Jose,
go
you're
out
not
there.
answering my question. I asked, does it bother you that Blacks are affected first and foremost by these illegals coming in like this?
Well, now I cannot answer a question that the premise is false, Jesse. I cannot
It's
answer
not
a
false.
question. It is false. Look, I can tell
When
you
you
that
drive down in
when
you drive down in South Central LA, and you look at the constructions that's happening there, it's illegals who are doing those jobs. At McDonald's and other low-paying jobs, it's illegals who are doing those jobs and not Blacks. Are you bothered by that?
Look, I am bothered that we don't have a system in place that would allow for this undocumented folks to not get paid $3 an hour.
I know, but that's not.
So,
I'm asking about not the illegal aliens. I'm asking you about the Blacks. Does it bother you that they are affected first and foremost? The Black people are Black American citizens.
again, I respectfully, I don't think that premise is true. I can tell you that, my African Americans, brothers and sisters, these are people that I respect. I have many friends from the community. I'm Latino myself, so I am very familiar with the history of repression that African Americans have had.
We don't have. You can't use that. We don't have a history of repression. I want to go back.
We don't have a history of repression.
There
was no
is
slavery in this country. Come on.
Blacks and Hispanics don't get along for the most part. There's a war going on between
That's
Blacks and Hispanics in the urban area right now in Compton, California, and Watts. They're trying to hold a peacemaker. They're trying to hold a meeting to make peace between the Blacks and Hispanic. It's not true that they get along. That's another lie.
See, we have to be careful. We have to be careful with this sort of false claims that are being made
It's not
out there.
false. I'm working in those communities all the time. It's not false. I promise you
It's not
that.
going to help you. See, what is happening when folks make those sort of premises, what is happening, Jesse, that it's going to continue to greatly divide the country.
Right. That's right, but it's not our fault. It's these illegals coming in. Let me ask, are you in support of the big, beautiful wall going up? The Great White Hope is going to put up a big, beautiful wall around the borders. Are you in support of that?
I am in support in greater security. I don't think the wall is the greatest idea. There are better technologies, drones, for example, more putting more people on the ground. And by the way, let me be clear. It was a Democrat, Barack Obama, who deported more people than any other president in the history of this country.
Not
So
true.
the notion,
That's not
the
true.
notion that Republicans love to blame the Democrats. We don't follow the law. Democrats are so nice to the undocumented community. President Barack Obama proved that you can be a balanced president. You can follow the law, but you can also try to pass comprehensive immigration reform. And that's what the president
Jose.
tried, but Republicans time and time again. So let me go back to your
Obama
question.
did
Let me go-
not. That's not true about the Father Messiah. He brought in more than any other president and pretended to be deporting others. It's
Pretended.
absolutely
Give me
not
a break.
true.
That's not true.
And
That's
he
not true.
implanted them in urban areas and in the suburbs in the middle of the night. You remember when he allowed the so-called children to come in illegally, and we just had truckloads of that. But I want to know, why is it that you're not in support of putting up the big, beautiful wall around this country?
I think the big repressive and racist wall is a waste of money. I think we can be spending our money better. Republicans love to talk about, they love to talk about being conservative when it comes to spending. They love to talk about reducing the national debt. Then why are we going to spend billions and billions of dollars on a wall where we could be investing
Because if we don't put the wall
into the economy?
If we don't put the wall up, it's going to cost us more in the long run because these illegals will continue to come and they'll rely on the system. They want free stuff. That's going to cost us even more.
That is not true.
Jose, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. Thanks a lot.
All right, buddy.